Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Southern Gunner Bait Runner Club Outdoorsman Insight from Captain Ezra aboard Driftwood. I was listening to the weather, reading a bunch of stuff about El Nino and the possibility of having more of a wetter winter this year. So it got me thinking about raincoats. Everybody needs a raincoat. And if you are going to be looking for one, a couple of things to look for. There's a bunch of different types of jackets out there. Not sure where you shop or what kind of direction you'll get from people, but just while you're out looking around and you come across different styles and different features about it, maybe I could answer some of those things for you and help you out. So, jackets. Okay, different ones. You've got, the parka style, lightweight, longer, trench coat length. That stuff's really just up to you, whatever you want for style points. So outside of that, you've got materials. You got lightweight jackets and a little heavier jackets. Give you an example. One of the jackets I always use, it's a super lightweight nylon, all-purpose raincoat. And then you got the heavier, foul weather piece. That's the heavy nylon. Those are the two jackets I primarily use for different purposes, of course. Material-wise, if you want durability, heavy's good, but we're in the southeast. It's really humid. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself with this part here, but it's not going to be as breathable. It's going to be a little more uncomfortable temperature-wise because we don't get so cold down here. But again, durability, that's going to just be up to you guys. I'm not even going to go down that road. So lightweight or a little bit heavier. Waterproofing. Thing about that is you've got Gore-Tex. Everybody knows Gore-Tex. Now, you'll see a lot of companies with their own little branding of names for their kind of waterproof laminate. North Face uses like High Vent, Patagonia, H2 No Storm. Columbia has their, titanium or something like that. So the reason behind those, or what that explains, is Gore-Tex was the company that came up with the waterproof breathable laminate. Now, it's basically Gore-Tex, to sum it up, it's like a trash bag, right? You could put yourself in a big trash bag and you're waterproof, but it's not going to breathe. So Gore-Tex was able to take this material, right, super thin, that's waterproof, but put like 100,000 billion, whatever, just, little tiny holes per square inch that allows water vapor to pass through, but not water mass molecules. So that's the breathability aspect. Gore-Tex, it's a souped up trash bag. All these other companies were able to come up with their own version of that because the Gore-Tex patent expired. There was something to do with that. So once that kind of hit its maturity, or however that stuff works, these companies were able to make their own laminate that worked just as good, but they didn't have to adhere to the strict standards of Gore-Tex. To explain that a little bit more in detail with not getting super technical, but if you and I were to start a company and we wanted to make jackets, right, and we wanted them to be waterproof, we'd need to use Gore-Tex material. So in order to do that, we'd design a jacket, materials and everything, submit it to Gore-Tex, and they'd have to approve how the jacket was made and everything else before they would put their stamp of approval and let us use Gore-Tex. So it made it kind of a pain for the other companies, a lot of hoops to jump through, and it gave Gore-Tex the ultimate authority in warranty repair and things like that. So with these companies creating their own thing that's just as good, really, they can keep it in-house, in a sense. So I've used a lot of that stuff, and it works really well. You just got to get a good, reputable company. So when you see those little names, read the tags. Don't be afraid, read that tag. If there's a proprietary company waterproof breathable laminate, read up on it. It's basically kind of going to be the same thing. I've heard studies that it's not as good as Gore-Tex, but it's been a while since Gore-Tex kind of came out, so there's some good stuff out there. You just got to get a good reputable company. When you're picking these companies, look for the warranty on it, things like that. See what that's going to get you in the long run. We'll talk about that more at the end of the video. So you have these companies, again, that does their own laminate. Check up on that for yourself. So the other aspects of jackets in the southeast, being waterproof, you want some kind of breathability beyond having the Gore-Tex. Pit zips, you've seen those, the zippers that run up and down the bottom. Well, that's to help the breathability of the jacket. It's going to breathe outside of being a souped up trash bag, but don't think that's going to make you completely perfectly comfortable inside. The problem in the Southeast is it's so humid, right? It's humid outside. Inside the jacket, it's 98.6 degrees. That's the average human body temperature, and we're always perspiring. So you have this microclimate of humid, warm air inside the jacket, humid, warm air outside the jacket. Those two environments kind of are the same. Which goes to, if you have one of these jackets and you're wearing it in the Southeast and it's hot, not hot, but pretty humid and fairly warm, 60s, 70s, and you're wearing your Gore-Tex jacket or whatever, and it's raining, you're probably going to think it's leaking. It's not leaking 9 times out of 10. You're just perspiring, and you have this microclimate inside the jacket, the climate outside, and there's no equalization. They're meaning there's nothing trying to pull that moisture through the jacket to outside. You have the same environment, so that it just kind of, the breathability's there. It's just not working because it's not a atmospheric conditional thing. Read up on it. I'd love to bore you with the details, but it's, if you've been out west where it's really arid and dry, and you are using any of this gear and you're perspiring and working on the inside of the jacket, you'll notice how much more comfortable you are, because the climate outside is trying to pull that moisture through the jacket to help equalize those environments. That's why that breathability is so important. Out there, it's important, but out there it works better than it does here. So many people used to come in the shop, oh, I bought this jacket and I wore it the other day and it leaked on me. It didn't keep me dry. You look back at the weather, it was 72 degrees and humid, and you're wearing the jacket outside. It's not leaking, it's just not breathing. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. That's why having pit zips, things like that, venting if you can to let some of that perspiration out. Umbrellas. I mean, I hate to tell you, just get an umbrella too, keep those around. These are just some of the built-in unfortunate features of living in the Southeast in humid conditions and having a jacket. So let's go back to the liner, that waterproof breathable stuff. You got 2-ply and 3-ply. So this jacket here, and you've seen a lot of these, and you'll see them on the showroom floor. It's lightweight. So technically this is a 3-ply piece. That means you have the outside, right, your nylon shell. If you can zoom in on this, that gray, the light gray, that's that laminate inside. Now you can see the tape seams. Maybe this will give you a contrast, right? Okay. And you see the pattern that looks like a screen. So what that is, the light gray is the actual waterproof laminate. This dark gray printed part is a hydrophobic kind of material that sits on this piece to protect that laminate and to also help any moisture that gets onto this to dissipate, therefore thinning out and basically helping to evaporate that moisture and push it through the barrier. That's what that's for, if you're ever wondering. So that's a 3-ply because you have 1 outside layer, 2 the laminate, and then 3 the piece that's, that sort of, I don't know if it's a material, but it's printed onto that to help dissipate that moisture and protect that laminate. A 2-ply jacket, and you see a lot of these. Let's see if I can get this thing open for you. Sorry guys, I'm working off of a small area here at the boat. I don't have a big workshop to do these videos, so bear with me. So inside of the jacket, you see it has this hanging liner. You've seen a lot of these. So that makes it a 2-ply. You have this piece independent, which again, that's helping to pull that moisture off, dissipate it out, thin it out so your body can heat it up, evaporate it to help push it through that laminate. You can't see inside of this material here, but that laminate is bonded, the waterproof laminate, is bonded to the back side of the outside material, which is your heavy nylon. So heavy nylon, taped, waterproof laminate, bonded to the inside with this hanging liner. That helps dissipate that moisture. Because that's how, the Gore-Tex stuff works in that waterproof. The outside, which, another thing, try not to get all over the board here. It's just a lot of information. I'm trying to piece it together to kind of help you out. Keeping the outside of this thing as clean as possible so it's not gummed up. Keeping a durable water repellent coating on the outside, which the buzzword, if you buy one of these jackets, you pour water on it, beads up, runs off. I probably should have got some water to show you, but I'm sure you've seen it before. Fresh jacket, it's new, you walk outside, it gets wet, water beads up, runs off. That stuff's important to keep any precipitation and moisture from bonding to the outside of this. Because what's going to happen if you're wearing the jacket and it's working, you're perspiring, that water is evaporating, getting pushed through this barrier, and water vapor molecules immediately hit water mass molecules on the outside. What's going to happen? It's going to condense into more moisture, but it's going to be on the inside. And that's when you're going to think, oh goodness, my jacket's leaking, it's not breathing. No, it's not leaking. Water's not going in. It's just not going out, if that makes sense. So it's important when you buy one of these jackets, new, keep it clean. Don't wash the fool out of it. Wipe it clean with a damp rag. Follow your care instructions, but I can guarantee you, it says wash it, but you don't want to wash it a lot. That durable water repellent is pretty nice and strong, but it's going to wear off eventually. And you'll notice it start to wear on your shoulders, elbows, and back of the seat, and on the back where it's getting a lot of abrasion. Unfortunately, you're just going to have to buy some good treatment and retreat it down the road as it starts to show that water's not sticking to it very well. Granger and Nick Wax are two good companies out there you'll see at reputable outdoor shops, Bass Pro, REI, any of those areas. Your mom and pop stores, which I highly recommend going to your mom and pop outdoor shops. Talk to those guys about it. But it's important to take care of that jacket. If you spend $50 or $500 on a jacket, it's still a jacket, man. You're going to have to take care of it. That doesn't mean it's going to do everything for you. Minding the care instructions, keeping the outside clean, reseal it, that definitely helps. So I hope this kind of helped guided you a little bit in what you're looking at with the 3-ply jackets, the 2-ply jackets with the hanging liner inside. Care instructions, keep it clean. Mind the care instructions. You can actually throw these in the dryer. That's one of the things a lot of people overlook. A lot of the durable water repellent coatings are kind of heat activated. So once you do wash it with the proper soap, throw it in the dryer for a little bit. Not super high, but it does help kind of kickstart that DWR back in. But just remember, one of the big things about the Southeast, or wherever you guys are that come across the video, out west, you're going to have it made because the arid temperatures, all that stuff's going to work really well. But in the Southeast, you're going to deal with the humidity. And I know you probably hate to hear me say it. You're buying a nice expensive jacket and you're expecting it to work. Well, it is working. It's really not letting water in. It's just not able to let the vapor out. So condensation happens. It's a big science project going on with your jacket. You need to understand that. So if you do have any questions, take it back to the shop in which you bought it, or write the company, call them up and explain it to them. They'll be glad to tell you. That's some of the points on a good jacket. And again, don't be afraid to get an umbrella. I know we're talking jackets, but umbrellas, I still carry one. Matter of fact, that was on one of the lists for the National Outdoor Leadership School. Their gear list to get students ready was to pack an umbrella. Believe it or not, if you're sitting around having your class and things like that, those guys using umbrellas, cooking food, just sitting around makes a big difference. I hope this kind of helped you out a little bit, pointing out some topics that I'm all over the board, but there's just so much to unpack, and I didn't want to make this into an hour-long ordeal. But I got a feeling I'll probably come back with another video later to touch a little bit more on a couple things with the jackets. But durability, again, what do you want to use it for? How are you using it? The breathability aspect, understanding what Gore-Tex does and how it functions. These other companies with their proprietary things, the material, if you want the 3-ply or 2-ply, and really there's not that big of a difference. It's just 3-ply jackets tend to be lighter, more expensive, but just much more lighter. The 2-ply are a little more durable and heavier, primarily speaking, which you can find some lighter weight materials that have that little hanging liner. They're both going to work really well. Just it's a matter of kind of what you want. So I hope that, and then the care instructions, follow the care instructions. Get you some durable water repellent. Don't wash the full out of it. Wipe it clean on the outside. I think that kind of sums it up for the moment, really. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below. I feel like this one video here, buddy, we're just all over the board because there's so much to unpack. But appreciate you stopping by. I hope this helps you out in getting a raincoat and staying dry. But it's all right if you get a little wet. It's like, what is that some saying about some people walk in the rain and others just get wet? Get it? And my favorite, there's no such thing as bad weather, it's just bad clothing. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. But thanks for stopping by, and hope to see you again later on. Thanks.